What's up with fitness, nutrition labels, and influencers? Let's discuss. BalanceFIT Radio is on.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Lift off and the clock has started.
And a great good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening, namaste to all of y'all, wherever you may be across the fruited plain and around the world. And we appreciate you joining us here on BalanceFIT Radio, where we discuss philosophy and fitness in real life. And joining me, as she has been today, happy that I remembered her existence, is my partner in crime over there, Lacey Pletcher. How are you doing?
You know what? It's just really nice that anybody acknowledges your existence. In fact, if you said your name, I was going to be like, and I'm Lacey Pletcher.
Validation. My name is Scott Schroeder. I am the host of BalanceFIT Radio and the owner of balanceFIT, personal trainer here in Easley, South Carolina. And Lacey's my friend and client and good discussion partner. So hopefully we're going to have a good time today. And as always, if you find yourself watching and or listening, we're all servants to the algorithm. It will help. By the way, if you're watching this and you find value or listening to it and you find value and or entertainment, please share it out. Share it. Do the whole likey, subscribey, ratey, thumbs and hearts and stars thing because it helps. I don't like that it helps. I would love that if this stuff could grow on its own, but it can't. So your input is greatly appreciated. Your help is valued, and appreciate your time. And
we're like your little house plants. You need to water us and love us so we can grow and get bigger and stronger.
That's right. I like how you put that. Hey,
we're like cactuses or aloe plants. You know, we just need a watering once in a while here. We don't need it like all the time, but you know, a little bit of loving here and there.
Validation.
Please like me.
There we are.
There it is. We knew it was going to happen.
I called it and knew it was going to happen. That's probably Amazon, so that'll go away soon.
Sweet.
I'm going to give that a second.
Once again, we last time we closed the doors, the dogs couldn't get in, and I heard my dog lay down against the door and a few times. But Scott's wife was home and could kind of watch him out there. So we are letting them be in here, and they've been good and not made a peep up until this point. But I mean, Amazon guy. I like to bark at my Amazon guy. And this is what I told Scott. If he left the room, it was just going to become the Lacey show. So yeah, here we are. But I'm getting I'm getting anxious though to we've started the show and I haven't gotten a dad joke yet, and I'm starting to go through withdrawal because that's how it's got to be. Love me a good dad joke. So Scott asked me how I was doing. I went back to training this week. Oh, there's another ring. All kinds of chimey noises. I went back to training this week and I did some yoga. I've been keeping it light, and it's sort of amazing to me when people ask what happened, and I, give them the abridged version, but I was like, multiple infections and got in my blood and this, that, and the other. And then I say, and I went into the first phase of sepsis. The amount of people that have said to me, like, this person I know died because of sepsis. This person I know died because yesterday I took my motorcycle into the shop and the shop owner said like his sister-in-law died of sepsis like 2 months ago. And it's crazy to me that something that your body naturally does, it could kill you. I went to the dentist last week and it was so on the nose. I walk in and they have this like laminated article about, I'm not going to be able to come up with his name, but it was a football player, and this was 2003. But apparently he fell off a roof or something, and that's ultimately what killed him. But he fell off the roof because he had sepsis, and it just like took him down and made him feel really, really bad, and he got dizzy and whatnot, and then it ultimately led to his death. So the more I share about it, and I didn't know it was a thing that was so scary, and it's something your own body does to to yourself. And that's really all I got to talk about. Raya, what do you want to talk about? Anything? Can't have dead air. Lucy's still barking, and maybe I should go check that was actually the Amazon man and not an assassin that Scott got taken out. I mean, of the two of us with his military background, he would be better prepared should a ninja try to break in. However, I am sneaky and clever, and I feel like my, melee style would be berserker. So, yeah, none of this is usable. But I told Scott if he left, I was going to make it the Lacey show. Look who's here, my little shining star. Come here. Finn, come here. Oh, there he is. There he is. Hi, buddy. So when Scott and I train, we obviously bullshit a lot. And one of the things that I always try to do is come up with ideas as to how to make Finley go viral. If you haven't seen Finley's page, he is Border Collie, and Scott has worked with him a lot. He is one of those Border Collies that can do all the tricks and everything. And he can do the whole, he'll be like, stick him up, and Finley will get on his hind legs and put his paws up, which is just like and he kind of hop, and it's the cutest thing. And then obviously he can lay down and pretend to, bang and die and all that stuff because he's just awesome. But the other day I talked Scott into that song where it says, everybody put your hands up, train Finley when he hears that cue to stand and put his paws in the air and have it be like Scott, just listening to it, working out, not paying attention, and the dog's just doing it behind him. So if you guys think that's a great idea and it would be funny, make some comments and whatnot that we need to see that. Finley's so smart and such a cool dude that yeah, I think that needs to happen. Okay, the dogs are back in. I see shadows moving, and thank God I'm no longer just talking to myself. I told you I was going to. It went horribly. It went horribly. Cut all of it.
Welcome to the Three Dog Podcast, and we talked about this before the show. That I was like, hey, two things are going to happen in the middle of this. I don't know exactly when, but I'm glad actually that they happened that they both
was it
showed
the same
up
time?
at the same time. Raya.
Oh.
Extricate yourself from behind me. If you can't see this on the camera, this massive. How much does she weigh now? 85
Oh, she's
pounds?
so fat. Yeah, she's every bit of 85 pounds.
And naturally, you should be right under the desk because that's where a dog your size should go.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anyway, we're back.
I'm a big girl.
How about that? So, what were we talking about?
Well, I was talking about how you had
cactuses
been
and
gone. Yeah,
validation.
how you'd been gone for an unusually long time. And so it must not have been the Amazon guy. It must have been the exterminator, because I wasn't sure if maybe you'd invite the Amazon guy in. But hey, you just never know. So just all kinds of. And then I started thinking maybe you got abducted or it was an assassin and maybe I should go help you. So yes, you're going to just listen to whatever I said and be like, wow, you are lazy. You need a nap.
Yeah. All right. Hey, my wife says I'm getting fat.
Rude.
But in my defense, I've had a lot on my plate lately.
Oh, yes. Well, portion control, literally and figuratively, in life and on your actual plate.
Hey, why did the blonde get a perm?
I don't know, Scott.
Because her trainer said curls might help.
Oh.
Hey.
Well, I have a secret, Scott. You probably don't know this, but I'm not a natural blonde.
Get out of here. Who could know?
Oh, and you know what? I do know some blonde jokes. I will think those up.
Who could know? All right. So, wow. The whole desk just shook.
That was Raya. Oh, I've got one. Okay, Raya, you can't move anymore.
How about that?
You can't move anymore. All right, I'll tell my joke. You fix. So, I don't remember it, but basically, what was it? It's a blonde. A blonde is in a rowboat, out in the field, rowing, and another blonde comes up on her and says, Why are you rowing out in that field in that boat? If I could swim, I'd come kick your ass.
Hold on.
Yeah. Thank
There you
you.
go.
Take your servers. We
All
fixed.
right. Who knows?
I love how this is starting. This is gonna be
This is
wild.
Quality entertainment right here, people. You cannot buy this kind of thing, and good for you, it's free. All right, before we get into it, if your current fitness plan looks something like watch a bunch of YouTube videos, try random workouts, get confused, and then go eat a sandwich, I might be able to help. The balanceFIT Blueprint is a 3-session virtual coaching program where we build a training plan designed specifically for you, your goals, yes, your goals, your schedule, and your real life. We start with an assessment, and I build a custom program. We walk through it together, and then we check in and adjust once you've had time to implement it. It is not a generic workout. It's designed for you. It's coaching with intention. If you want a clear plan and a smarter way to train, check out the balanceFIT Blueprint. That's hard to say.
balanceFIT Blueprint. balanceFIT Blueprint.
At balanceFITSC.com. Your life, your potential. Also, if you are anywhere near me in the greater Greenville, Easley, Clemson area, and you want some actual personal training and not just virtual, then come on by and see me. Also, you can look at balanceFITSC.com.
And you might get lucky enough and meet me.
All right. In the warm-up section today, we're going to talk about comments, questions, and corrections. So I did have a comment. This was a comment on the short clip that I posted, Why We're Fat and Sick in 3 minutes, and which I thought was I thought it was an absolute tier 1 piece of material. I kind of boiled down a 20-minute conversation into 3 minutes, and I thought it was informative and entertaining. And we had a comment on that short from someone named Brandy.
Hi, Brandy.
I would put this on screen share, but who cares? You don't need to read it. I didn't respond. I like to respond to people. I like communicating with people, but I didn't respond because I don't know if you're a bot. I don't know if you're a troll. So I'm going to respond.
Internet episode coming soon.
I'm going to respond like this here. So Brandy, if you're out there, I obscured most of your name, Brandy M. Responding to that video clip, it goes like this. A-H, So it's like, like, oh boy, this is going to be, it's when someone starts something like that. It's like, okay, take it down, professor. Let's have a conversation here. Allow me to defunk. Now I'm going to presume, because the F and the B are reasonably close to one another on the keyboard, and this was probably done on a phone anyway. So, and maybe it auto-corrected to defunk. And by the way, Brandy, don't steal my funk.
Yeah, I'm gonna say people never defunk. Keep your funky. Wow, that's horrible advice. Always keep your funk. No defunking.
So,
unless it's stink. Never mind. Go ahead.
Quote, allow me to defunk. Let's presume she meant debunk. So we're starting off right away like, okay, here we go. Bring it on. I'm not going to get defensive. What do you want to debunk? I only eat. I'm reading directly from this. I only eat from sources of sugar and marketing.
Good. Slow clap.
Right away, I'm like, Russian bot?
Okay.
English as a second language? Who would say, I only eat from sources of sugar and marketing?
Okay.
Okay, so we are off and running in a big way. That's fantastic. I only eat from sources of sugar and marketing, super lean. Okay. There's no such thing. I presume this is the debunking thing. There's no such thing as an empty calorie, though what I think you mean is it's got low nutrition. Okay. Please forgive me for speaking in down-to-earth colloquial language.
Yeah.
When I say empty calories, I think we all know exactly what I'm talking about. No, there's no such thing as technically a calorie that is empty, that has nothing. But it's, as you point out, it's got low nutrition. It's a useless calorie. How about that?
It's the same thing as when I don't do 5-pound bicep curls anymore. It's not worth the time. It's not like, does it do a little something? Yeah, maybe. There's something there, but there's better things.
Yeah. So, okay. All right. And IDK about that. I just know I'm 45. I can run a mile without labored breathing. Okay. I commend you, but that puts you in about the 5th percentile. Being able to run a mile without labored breathing is not something to brag about, or maybe it is in this culture. But good for you. And this gets good. I do avoid eating 3 times a day, as in I just haven't in about 15 years. One meal, that's all anyone needs. Some vitamins, which are bizarrely oversaturated with vitamins, your body will absolutely never absorb, which is true. Mm-hmm. Some exercise, don't obsess, just do what works to bring your weight down, and the rest is bullshit. Okay, I'm going to give you that, because the last sentence, you're absolutely right. What did I say in that video that needed debunking? So let me back up for a second here, because the whole video is if you remember how it ran down, it was, we started here. Like, I want to find the devil. Is it sugar? Is it calories? Is it fat? Is it this? Is it that? Is it dyes? Is it chemicals? Is it whatever? And as we unfolded it, as we peeled the layers back, we kept going and going back to the 50s and back to the Industrial Revolution. And what we discovered was that there was no devil, that it was an unfolding series of human events that we just find ourselves in, that we need to get a hold of somehow. So I don't know what you're debunking, but let me go back to this. And I do want to address this, because Brandy, I avoid eating 3 times a day, 1 meal. That's all anyone needs. Let me pause you there. If you have a medical precondition, or if you're in some kind of health or training protocol that calls for that kind of restrictive fasting, okay. But if you live and you say you're super lean, that doesn't mean you're healthy.
Oh, correct.
Skinny weak is as bad as fat weak. All right. So being super lean does not mean you're healthy. And also being skinny does not mean you're lean. Yeah. Lean indicates health. Lean indicates lean muscle mass. Mm-hmm. So we got a lot of language issues, a lot of word issues here, but eating 1 meal a day, there is no possible way, unless you're a puma, that you can get the requisite amount of nutrients that you need eating 1 meal a day in a healthy fashion. If you eat 2,000 calories in 1 meal, you're going to have digestive issues. There's no way you're going to be able to get the amount of protein that you need, especially if let's just say you're not working out 4 times a week, that you lead a sedentary lifestyle. Your body still needs protein. You should still be getting about 30% of your calories from protein. The vitamin deficiencies, you addressed taking vitamins, but also said you're going to, pee most of them out. You're not going to absorb them. And that's true. Multivitamin supplements help fill gaps in nutrition, and a 1 meal a day plan has massive gaps in nutrition. So how can you plan a balanced meal in one shot, in 1 meal, and get all your macros to keep you healthy? The protein to build and repair muscle, and to help regulate everything from cellular function to hormones, carbohydrates for energy. If you're sedentary, you're actually not even going to be using carbohydrates for energy. You're going to be using fat for energy. So what's your good fat source? So I wanted to appreciate, first of all, thanks for your comment. Second of all, I don't know what you defunct or debunked. Don't take my George Clinton from me. But as far as your 1 meal a day thing, I don't think that's a healthy way to go.
And 2, I'm gonna tie this together with a bow. All you really need is to eat one healthy meal and like do whatever your body needs to do to lose weight that works for you, or kind of whatever she said there. Like, no, because what you said is, okay, if you're starving yourself, do whatever you need to do to lose weight. Like, well, no, if you're not getting the nutrients you need, that's bad. Okay. I mean, I'm thinking of when Anne Hathaway did Les Miserables, right? And she lost all of that weight, and people asked her how she did it. And she said, I'm not going to tell people because I don't want to give them any ideas. I did it in a very unhealthy way. She's like, let me just, and she had to drop weight quick and like whatnot. And there are, bad ways to drop weight out there. Last year, how did I like get my weight to drop so fast? Seething rage. I don't recommend seething rage as your fuel for weight loss.
If you want to hear Lacey's seething rage weight loss story, go back to her building a team episode.
My team, yeah. So anyway, I'll just you can lose weight however your body loses weight, and if starving is it, will that work? Sure. Is it a good way to do it? No.
Who did you say? Anne Hathaway?
Anne Hathaway.
I respect someone who will do something extreme for their career while at the same time telling other people not to do it.
Right, because she had nutritionists and she had doctors and she had
I respect that.
Yep.
All right. Moving on. I discovered a weird thing about myself. I think it might be weird.
Okay.
I noticed this when I was opening a jar of something the other day. Now, would you say it's normal and regular for you to hold it? Let's presume you're right-handed. To hold the jar in your left hand and twist the cap with your right hand. Mm-hmm. Is that normal?
That's how I would do it.
I discovered the other day that I don't twist the cap, I twist the jar. I hold the cap and twist the jar or the water bottle like this. I will hold the top and I'll twist the bottom.
No.
Is that weird? Is that super weird?
I don't know if it's weird, but it does make me want to ask, like, who hurt you, Scott?
I don't know. A lot of people. Let's not
skate past that one.
Not open that box.
I mean, it's different. Well, I'll say that.
Yeah. That happened the other day, and I asked Meredith about it. I was like, "Hey, is this weird?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're weird." So we've been married for 27 years, so she can say
she
stuff
rolls
like
with
that.
it.
I have let's call it a trivia question. I have a quiz or a trivia question for you. Can you name the top 5 best-selling fitness programs of all time?
Oh.
Let's see how she does.
Well, I think of Billy Blank's Tybo.
That is number 1.
Of course. I want to say P90X because I heard of it, right? P90X.
That's number 2.
Okay.
You're on a roll.
And then like right now I'm trying to think of like what's kind of current, and I think it's so scattered and there's so many out there. It makes me want to go back to like Jane Fonda or so, like, go back to when people were actually jazzercising in their own homes.
Jane Fonda is not on the list.
Okay. Or like or
shocked.
Suzanne Summers, because the one fitness video I've seen, I want to say is a Jane Fonda, because growing up, 4th grade, my friend's mom had a Jane Fonda video. But then, is it Suzanne Summers? Is it, who else did this? Who else did this? And it just went crazy. Richard Simmons?
I think the reason that Jane Fonda, Suzanne Summers, and Richard Simmons are not on here is because they were so early that their product was like one VCR tape for $19.95 instead of a box set for $700.
Okay.
So you got Tybo, you got P90X. Those are number 1 and number 2.
Trying to think of anything else I've heard of. I've never done one.
I haven't either.
I've seen them, but nope, lay it on me.
One of them is it like took over the world for like 5 years. Everybody was doing it, and it seemed, well, not everybody. It seemed pretty niche, kind of limited to, let's be generous and graceful and say women of a certain mindset and certain body composition were all about this for 5 or 6 years, maybe even longer than that. Flowy skirts and jangling ankle bracelets, and
is it some kind of yoga?
Starts with a Z.
Oh, Zumba.
Zumba's number 4.
Okay. Have heard of Zumba.
Number 5 is video game based.
Oh, is it like a Wii something?
Wii Fit.
Dance Dance Revolution?
Wii Fit is
Okay.
number 5. The one, number 3 is the one that we're missing.
Yeah. Okay.
You done? You done guessing? Let me see if
Give me a hint.
I'll give you a hint. Sean T.
Oh, yeah. The high intensity, like he did all the hit training. What was it called? It was like, I'll never come up with the name, but it was explosive something.
You could
high.
you could
Inferno.
describe the last 3 weeks of your life with this word.
Hell?
Insanity.
Insanity. Sean T. Insanity. Okay.
All right, so a little bit about these. I saw a video recently kind of explaining the fitness culture and how these people came and go and how marketing just ate them alive, and that the people that started these were good people and the industry got a whole, it's like scale. It's like when corporate money, investment, what's that? Venture capitalists. When venture capitalists come in and buy a company that was built and run by people who love people and love what they do, and they destroy it and ruin it, and they don't know why. Mm-hmm. Because you stopped doing all of the things that made that company what it was,
made it people-centric,
for
made it feel authentic.
maximizing shareholder profits, and now the company's dead, and you move on. Like the aliens from Independence Day.
Oh.
They just go from galaxy to galaxy, sucking up all the resources, leaving a dead husk behind them, and move on. So that's kind of what happened to these fitness people. So Ty Bo was Billy Banks, and it was this. There's a theme going through this, and I'm going to get down to why I'm asking you about this in a later segment. Tae Bo was a high-intensity cardio workout that combined martial arts techniques such as Taekwondo and karate with boxing, calisthenics, and rhythmic dance. And Billy Blanks was a martial arts expert, and everybody remembers Tae Bo. You remember that? It just took over the world.
And big personality, megawatt smile. Yeah.
And these things kind of compounded on each other. And P90X, we know P90X was developed by Tony Horton and Beachbody. This was a 90-day. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm going to get at later, which is part of the problem with the fitness industry. This was not necessarily with the industry, but with what people do. But a 90-day extreme home fitness system dominated the late 2000s and early 2010s, sold millions of DVD box sets via late-night infomercials, generating hundreds of millions of dollars.
I know people that did it.
Before the brand transitioned to subscription apps. Insanity. The Insanity workout is an intense 60-day. See where we're going here?
No, 7-minute abs.
Yeah. 60-day home fitness program created by trainer Sean T and Beachbody. High-intensity interval training. Push yourself as hard as you can for 3-minute intervals followed by short rest periods. This was 6 days a week with workouts ranging from 30 to 60 minutes. You cannot sustain HIIT. You should safely only do HIIT 2, maybe 3 times a week, and not for 60 to 90 minutes. This is unsustainable, and it's not unsustainable because you can't find a cohort of people, of elite athletes that can do this, but that's not who bought this.
Right. I was going to say, you could do anything for 60 days. Sure, you could do that, and you would probably get in good shape.
And then what?
But then what? Right. You're going to go right back to...
So once again, unsustainable.
Yeah.
What about Zumba? That was the dance thing. This was so silly. I mean, you know what? Bless you.
But if you had fun, you have moving.
If you're building a tribe and you're out moving, I like it. But it was a trend.
Hey, we know you can't dance, Scott.
I can't. It's originated by Beto Perez in the 90s and formalized globally in 2001. Dance fitness phenomenon utilizes Latin rhythms and aerobic movements while primarily operating through studio classes and instructor licensing. Its DVD programs and video console video games have sold tens of millions of copies. Yeah. Wow. And the Wii Fit, everybody knows what Wii Fit is. And hey, if you're going to have a video game console in your home, I wish people wouldn't, but if you're going to have it, good for Wii Fit. It got people up and moving.
I used to have the power pad for Nintendo, and did the track thing. You know what? I'm really shocked. Didn't make the top 5 though. Now that I've had a chance to think about it, Prancer size.
Prancer size.
If you don't know what that is, go Google it, and you're welcome.
I do not know what that is. All right, moving on. In the Zeitgeist section today, we touched on this a little bit, and I said I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. And I want you, because you might have, I have never once ordered DoorDash, Uber Eats, or any of those delivery services. Have you?
Oh, yeah.
Now, I will say this. We have Walmart grocery delivery, but I have a real good reason for that. We have Walmart Plus. Walmart Plus gets us Hulu for free and some other stuff. But it is valuable to me to not have to go into Walmart.
I thought of you. I went into Walmart, like 2 or 3 days ago. I needed 4 things and stood there trying to get a 9-volt battery, and they've got them locked in the back. Stood there forever. They didn't, and I just went, I hate being here.
But if Walmart was going to raise the prices on, which actually they are now, they're doing that. I forget what it's called. The dynamic pricing, where they change the prices, and they're doing it based on who's standing in front of the bananas, because they got cameras everywhere. And then now they have digital tags. Have you seen this? Instead of the old paper or plastic tags, they got digital tags on everything. Yeah. And then I think it's every morning at like 5 a.m. or something, all the digital tags go bloop, bloop,
like a gas pump.
Yeah. And then this dynamic pricing, they read your phone. This thing reads your data off your phone when you walk in the door. And it's like, oh, well, this person has an iPhone 17 Pro Max and blah, blah, blah.
Yes, I do.
on and on and on. So they're not going to pay 59 cents a pound for bananas. They're going to pay 79 cents a pound for bananas. And you know what? You will. So anyway, let me not get distracted by that. But
got eyes on.
there is real value in getting my groceries delivered for me. I actually I find a little bit of therapeutic relaxation in grocery shopping. I actually like it.
Oh, I'll do a list, but when I have the time and the dog's not in the car, something about just going up and down every aisle and thinking about like looking at literally everything. Like somehow, like some people like to just love to go to a bookstore and just kind of like go up and down the aisles. I love that for me. When I'm thinking about meals that I'm planning, or that's interesting. What could I use that for to cook something, whatever. So when I had the time and when it wasn't such a people experience, I love to just troll up and down the aisles.
And for the record, I like grocery shopping in Publix. I do not like grocery shopping in Walmart. I do not want to set foot in Walmart. It's like going to Waffle House at 4 a.m. But anyway, there's value in that experience to me, and I am paying a membership for a year, which is really cheap, and I'm getting other benefits from it. And I know, I'm not naive. I know there's a give and take here, but there's real actual value in that for me. However, this stuff, DoorDash, Uber Eats.
Well, I say, but wait, there's more. And sometimes you get a 2-pound bag of Cinnamon Toast Crunch on accident. Bonus.
Plus a 2-pound bag of Fruit Loops and a giant jar of butter syrup if you need it. So what's your experience with
DoorDash or
Uber Eats, all that?
Well, they never get my Chipotle order correct, or my Tropical Grill order correct. I don't know what's so difficult about it. I mean, there's certain things I will DoorDash, and certain things I keep touching the stone and realizing it's hot. Like having a sushi experience at home and not having my wasabi touch anything else, it's never the same. And why do I do it? Well, while you weren't in the room, somewhere during COVID, I was an extrovert. I mean, my people, I do need my recharge time, but I am, very big. People kind of fuel me forward. But during COVID, when I became a hermit and maybe went through the situation I did, I actually like now not interacting with people as much. And it's that.
Hold on. Did you say like not interacting
with people as much as I used to?
Oh boy.
because there's a Schroeder
not
meme that
good for the
says
soul.
I'm now very picky with who I interact with, but there's that meme that says I used to like people but then people ruined it. And so for me, not having to go out and as a single person, I'm very confident. I go to movies by myself. I go sit out by myself all the time, but sometimes, and I guess I could go drive out and get my own takeout and bring it home. But I've lived in two kind of more remotish areas. So I guess that's why I do it. Cause then I got to pack up the dog. We got to go. There's just a whole thing. And I really like I have my hermit time where I just like not leaving the house. And honestly, it makes me feel like a little bit of a princess that people will just deliver me my food.
I'm not sure that's okay. I'm going to have to fuss at you about that.
I don't do it all the time, but you asked me if I use it. And so that's why I would use it, is because I just don't have the social or energy to go out and be out in public.
How many times a week do you do DoorDash?
Oh, not every week.
Okay.
No.
It seems to be a thing that people are doing it many times per week.
Now, I think when I worked from home too, and a meeting run long, and I didn't have something I could pop in the microwave and reheat, or like sandwich or something, you DoorDash some lunch or something when you're in that culture where it's you work.
Would you say that's a success or a failure?
Oh, huge failure.
Huge failure.
But no, I don't DoorDash. I don't DoorDash all the time, and I'm trying to be better about it because it's expensive and it's good for me to go out and
That's where
give people another chance to be horrible, and then I'll just go right back into my house.
Those two things. If you're 25 years old, I need you to get out and go meet people and experience people and learn how to deal with people. If you're 55,
see, I was gonna say I've done it.
You've learned how to do that. But if you start going on the downward slope of that bell curve of life experience, you're going to end up being 65, hugging your cats, and no people are around you, and you're going to be throwing feces at people that walk by your mailbox.
Oh no!
Okay,
I hug my cats all
Get
the time.
out and meet people. I actually like to go. I can do all of my banking online.
Yeah.
I still go to the bank because I like talking to them.
Yeah.
And the reaction that I get from point of sale people, cashiers, the people at the bank, all that kind of stuff. First, a little bit of surprise, and then a lot of genuine joy.
Yeah.
That someone is actually talking to them and not either just not existing at all or just coming through their line and staring at their phone and grunting at them.
Yeah.
I will tell stupid jokes. I will interact. I'll ask them how their day is, and I will mean it. Mm-hmm. And they are when I leave there, I feel good because they feel so much better. I just made their day a little bit better.
Well, and we've tangented off of necessarily DoorDash, but we talked about this the other day. If I know I'm not in a mindset, and having been so sick recently and like whatnot, and the last year of my life, whatnot, if I am not in a mental place where I know I can go have an authentic interaction and be my authentic self or whatnot, I don't. Because I would have to force it, and I think maybe I said this
every time is a time to go. But
well, that's what I'm saying.
Don't bury yourself.
Yeah,
at home.
no. Well, and I don't. I come over here and whatnot, and I think I've mentioned it before. Like there are some times when I have to go out there, and the phrase I use in my house is "put on your goddamn happy face, Lace, and get out there." Yeah. So
the second part of this is economic, and this is the part that I cannot. That makes my face explode. DoorDash and Uber Eats use similar fee structures, typically making delivery 25 to 40% more expensive than dining in. Charges include menu markups set by the restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
They will
I
allow
compare it.
to actually charge you more for the food itself, not the fee, not the tip, not nothing. They're going to charge you more for the food just because you won't get up and go get it yourself. And variable delivery fees. So they're going to charge you whatever they're going to charge you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Service fees, a percentage of the subtotal, small order fees for orders under minimums, and driver tips.
Yep.
So like I said the other day, you instead of just driving down to friggin' Chipotle or whatever and getting your burrito and bringing it home, you're going to end up paying, which would be, let's just say $10.
Yep.
Now it's going to be $26.
At
least.
Right. That's that right. And you know what? At Chipotle, I know the guac is extra, Scott, but so am I. fine.
You are extra. So the moral of the story is go meet people, get up off your ass, even when you don't want to. Doesn't mean you have to do it all the time. If you're having a real bad day, don't go put your bad day on somebody else. But you might actually be having a bad day and find that going to get a little human interaction will be good for the soul. Also, stop wasting your money. I don't want to hear anymore. No more do I want to hear that somebody can't afford to live if you're spending
That much on DoorDash.
that much money having food delivered to your house.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. Speaking of going shopping and getting things, I do go to Sam's. I could get Sam's delivered, but I don't want to. When I go to an outside gym, the outside gym that I go to is next door to Sam's. Mm-hmm. When I need to return an Amazon, the place that I return Amazon to is right next door to that gym. So I can go out and talk to all kinds of people, get my interactions. But anyway, I think you can tell where you are in the world by what your Sam's or your Costco or whatever has stocked. Now, it's hard for me to believe that a space that big doesn't have everything in the universe stocked. But you know what I can't get at my Sam's? Cottage cheese.
Oh, no.
I'm like, are you kidding me?
Interesting. Well, I was like, when I was in the Walmart the other day, just here locally, and then I want to say at the Ingles or something, like the selection of cottage cheese, they had it, but there was two kinds, which there's an accoutrement of cottage cheese out there that you could have. There's so many things I feel like you could do with cottage cheese, and apparently in this area we don't eat cottage cheese, which
we don't believe in gut health and being well and healthy where we are. We have where we live is really bad. The general health in the upstate of South Carolina is catastrophic. It is real bad. Now we have little pockets because we are right here. We are halfway between Greenville and Clemson. Greenville is a mid-size, a small, big city. Mm-hmm. And it's a medical hub. It's a business hub. And we're, what are we, an hour and 20 minutes from Charlotte. We're 2 hours, depending on traffic. We're like an hour. We're like, 80 miles from Atlanta. But anyway, we're directly between Greenville and Clemson. And Clemson, anytime you have a major university, you're going to have all the things that come with a major university, which is young people, professional people, people that want a higher level of goods and services, and people who, generally speaking, will tend toward better self-care.
Yep.
Less smoking, less eating garbage, more movement, more exercise, that kind of thing. And it's very, very bad here. And that's why like cottage cheese, it's very, very good for gut health. It's a great source of protein. You can make, as you touched on, you can make a lot of things with cottage cheese. You can make a cottage cheese flatbread, which is like a great source of protein that you can put other stuff into. Anyway, I can't get cottage cheese. I can get 19,000 different kinds of cookies. I can get the most disgusting sugar-laden yogurt. That's the other thing too, is they have my fat-free Greek yogurt there, and they have it in these giant, like 64-ounce containers that I love. And it's fat-free Greek yogurt. And it's real. It's not Greek yogurt like or whatever. So, and that's probably the main reason that I started going to Sam's like 5 years ago, is because they had it there and they got this giant tub of it for like $4.50. Plus I get a few other things there. But they do have my fat-free Greek yogurt, but they can't keep it in stock. They keep 100 million other kinds of disgusting sugar-laden flavored fake yogurts in stock, but not my fat-free Greek yogurt. They can't keep it in. And I can't get cottage cheese, and that bugs me.
Well, what's interesting is, to me, I sometimes end up at the Pickens Walmart, and they don't have the fizzy waters that I like, sparkling water, like a LaCroix, for instance. Like, they've got one choice, and that's always amazing to me. And I was just going to look up Sam's Club and see if I could find some cottage cheese on here, and man, the algorithm that it knows, because if you listen to, was it last week or the week before's episode, do you know who's staring back at me advertising Sam's Club? Jason Sudeikis.
They're listening.
Which makes me want to go like, no, don't look at me. I'm so embarrassed.
The robots are listening.
I know. All right. Anyway.
All right. Moving on. In today's nutrition section, I want to talk about something that has come up more and more and more with my clients specifically recently, and other people that I deal with in general, and looking around at the people landscape, the peoplescape, the personscape. This is probably a skill that is either disregarded or it's like complex mathematics that people don't know how exactly to look at a food label, the nutrition panel on foods. If you're watching on YouTube, that thing right there, the thing that's on by law on all of the containers of food that you purchase. And I've been counseling my nutrition clients recently, and I've been it's been a work, it's been a chore getting people in there, and I've thought that it would be useful to kind of go through what my priorities are when I look at food labels, because there's a lot of information on there. There's a lot of numbers and words and percentages and all this kind of stuff. And I want to kind of try to demystify it, because all I want is for people to be a little healthier and a little more well and a little more capable.
You can only do that with awareness, yeah?
I want you to live for your kids. I want you to live for your spouse, your loved ones, whoever is special in your life. I want you to live for yourself, for crying out loud. And understanding, demystifying a food packaging, the nutrition panel on food packaging, I think is going to help. So I thought that we would get into this. Order of priority. So when you pick whatever the box or bag or whatever it is of food up and you see this label, you're going to see certain things. And like I said, they're required by law to put this on there, but you need to pick. They're not going to help you. You need to pick your way through this. And I just happen to have this box of RX bars, which we'll get into later. But the order of priorities. So the very first thing that you need to understand is serving size and servings per container. And we joke about what all the time? That right there, peanut butter.
The serving size of peanut butter makes me sad.
This is a quintessential example of something about which people have no idea what a serving size is. And there's a meme, I think it's even military based, that like, hey, grunts, hey, jarheads, this is a serving of peanut butter. And it shows a tablespoon, not this. And it shows 2 pieces of bread with like a 3-inch spread of peanut butter in between them. So first and foremost, knowing what a serving size is and how many servings per container, because they're going to put in big numbers on there on an individual food item.
Oh, hey, it's 60 calories. That's if you have 2 grains of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So understand where it says servings, how many servings are in here. So in this case, there's 10 servings in this. There's 10 bars in here. And a serving size is 1 bar, but you go down and look in the parentheses, it says 52 grams. And let me put a pin in that. I want everybody on earth right now to go out and buy a food scale. I don't care where you get it from. I'm not pimping food scales. I don't care. Just go on your favorite retail site or get up and go to the store and buy a food scale. It's going to cost you like $10. And this is going to be the thing. If you're looking to tighten up your nutrition, to lose fat, or increase your gains, if you're wanting to do bodybuilding. Gains! I forgot. I meant to make that button and I forgot to do it. You're going to need to know this stuff. So they're going to tell you,
but I will say, get a digital one, because I've had the spring-loaded ones before, and they're great. But get a digital one.
Yeah, I'm an aficionado of all things analog, being primo Gen X, but get a digital scale. You can get a digital scale with a tare feature on it, T-A-R-E. That means that when you put the bowl or whatever the thing that is holding the food you want to measure, you hit the button and it zeroes it out, so it only measures the food or liquid or whatever.
I had this wonderful food scale. It was like this big, about the size of a small plate, and then it had this big bowl in it. And I actually, when I started rescuing cats and kittens, that's what I used to put the kittens in to weigh them, because I needed to make sure they were getting, like, they needed to be, gaining weight at a certain rate to make sure they were getting enough, because they were bottle babies, and then also when they were a certain weight, they could get fixed. So anyway, like, my food scale then converted into a kitten weight scale.
And
so it is a versatile utensil in your household.
As Alton Brown would say, it's a multitasker.
There you go.
And anytime you can have a multitasker, not a unitasker, in your kitchen, shout out to Alton Brown. All right, so serving size and servings per container. Understand what the heck that means. Now, you need to know, what are you going to do? What are we doing?
I'm using the restroom.
So it doesn't even take me any effort to do. You got a smile. I hope that smile got caught on camera. He's looking right there. That's Finley, by the way.
So Lucy is licking my calf, and Finley is now stealing the limelight.
All right, so getting back to it, knowing serving size and servings per container doesn't do you any good if you don't know that all macro and micro numbers are based on this. So macronutrients, not to presume that everybody knows what that means. That's your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats. Those are your macronutrients. Your micronutrients are all the vitamins and minerals on the earth. All of the fat-soluble and water-soluble vitamins, A, D, E, and K, B, and C. All the minerals like zinc, manganese, iron, all those things. All of that is based on this number, serving size and servings or serving size more particularly. And so that brings me to the next thing, which is the biggest number on there, which is calories. And so if you see 210 calories, you need to know that there's not 210 calories in this entire box. That is 210 calories per serving. Two things about calories. If you don't know what your calorie needs are, this is going to be meaningless to you. So we need to measure our food, and we need to understand, you need to understand what your TDEE is, your total daily energy expenditure. That's how many calories your body burns by existing, by moving around, and by exercise, by thermic effect of food or feeding, depending on what source you look at. All the things that you do just by existing on the earth burns calories. So know what your total daily energy expenditure is to know the following, which is, are you maintenance? That means you don't want to gain or lose weight. Are you in a deficit? That means you want to lose weight. I'm putting air quotes if you're not watching on YouTube. Lose fat, lose unwanted fat, lose unwanted weight. Or are you a bodybuilder, or you're working out and you want to gain muscle mass? You need to be in a gains. You need to be in a surplus. So you need to know these things. If you're walking in the dark here with this stuff, you are going to be frustrated, like almost everyone is, with your nutrition. Can't even call it a plan. If you don't know this stuff, you don't have a plan, you're going to be frustrated with your diet, and you're not going to get the gains you need. You're not going to be able to lose the weight you want to lose, and you're not going to be able to stay where you need to stay, depending on where you're at with that. So calories are meaningless. This calorie number is meaningless unless you know how to assign it to your specific plan. And all of these numbers on this nutrition panel are based on a 2,000 calorie diet. Why do you need to know this? Because not everybody needs to be eating 2,000 calories a day. If you are like Brandy, or one meal a day, don't do anything, but I'm super lean and all I eat is sugar, and
who is also not funky,
has no funk, then you don't need to be eating 2,000 calories a day. You're probably not burning 2,000 calories a day. If you are an elite athlete, guess what? If you're Michael Phelps, your total daily energy expenditure is probably 4,000 calories or more. I don't even know. So just to keep from wasting away to nothing, you need to maintain with that. From a personal experience, my TDEE is right around 2,700 calories, and it's been that for about 5 years. So I know about where I need to be depending on what I'm training for. If I want to cut, if I want to gain, say it,
Gains.
or if I want to stay right where I'm at. I know the calories that I need to eat. I measure my food. I know what I'm eating. All right. So,
Well, and let me point something out because I brought in my raisins.
yeah.
We from all the things I just had done, I'm having some anemia issues, which while I'm tired and everything.
So you need iron.
So I need iron, right? And so the other thing is, all right, well, this is giving me 4% or 0.7 milligrams of iron a day. And again, that 4% is based on the daily value, based on your calorie intake and the serving size. So, I have to look at this and go, all right, well, if I want to, get this up to 12, so I've got to eat.
Let me guess. The serving size of those raisins is 40 grams.
Yep. So that's a fourth of a cup. So for me, which is 120 calories, and obviously there's a little bit of fiber in here. There's no added sugar, but it's 26 grams of sugar. So for me, looking at this to go, all right, so to get 0.7 milligrams, I would need to eat, with the iron intake I need. Now, I just love raisins. This is great for me. I can just take a little handful and snack on them. So these are like my little iron supplement pills.
The good thing about raisins is that they come with a fairly good bit of fiber.
They do.
What's the fiber content in
2
there?
grams.
Okay. That's okay.
It's okay. It's not great.
It's going to help offset the sugar.
But I'm just saying,
but
for me to get a little
I got
quick,
you.
quick
What
buzz,
I'm wrapping that up with is you got to consider all these.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, for me to say, oh, well, I'm going to get my iron from these, I have to look at how much I have to eat. And it's a risk because I did not know this. One of my friends, she left some oatmeal raisin cookies out and her dog got into them. And raisins and grapes are toxic to dogs.
Yes.
And I had no idea. I love grapes. I love raisins. So that's actually why they're not in here. I have them folded up, baggy clipped in the cabinet. Today I dropped one on the floor and I crawled around in the kitchen to find it to make sure garbage compactor over here didn't eat one raisin.
I don't think a raisin would kill that dog.
I know. It'd take a lot to take down that piece. Oh, but look at that face. Yeah, I know. But just a public service announcement because I guess this happened last year. So I was 43 years old when I learned that. But for all of you dog lovers and dog owners out there.
All right. And so we're going to kind of wrap what you were talking about into this as we're going. So I'm glad you brought that up because that'll kind of lead us into that. All right. So to review, serving size and servings per container. You got to know this because if you just look at the calories on this thing, I'm holding up a jar of peanut butter. If you're listening on podcast, and you dip out and you look on there and you see 180 calories. Ooh, that's kind of high, but okay. It's only 180 calories. I can deal with that.
How many servings are in that jar?
And you dip out like 4 tablespoons of it. Guess what? You've just consumed
560. What would that be?
About all of your fat for the
640.
day, and probably a third of the total calories that you need to eat for the day. So
how many servings is in that jar, Scott? Total.
35.
Okay, so
35.
just forgetting the 80 part of that, that's 3,500 calories in the whole jar, which is the one thing that does make me feel good about cottage cheese. When I look at the cottage cheese and see there's only 6 servings in there, and I'm like, okay, so if I house this whole thing because I love it, that's only 670 calories. I won't feel too guilty about it, even though it's high fat.
Yep. And the amount of fat represented by 3,500 calories is substantial.
Yeah.
That's generally the deficit we want to put people in
To lose a pound.
to lose a pound a week.
Yep.
So this is 1 pound of body fat in this jar right here.
But I love you. I'm sorry. I love you.
Typically on an average deficit, for people to lose fat, we want to put them about at a 500 calorie a day deficit, 3,500 calories a week. So there you go.
However, we're not saying peanut butter is a bad food. It is not a bad food.
It's a good food.
It's a
but
decent food in moderation. It can be a healthy fat, although almond butter is better. All those others are better.
And also,
better,
it depends on
how much sugar is
the
put
kind
in
of
it
peanut
and whatnot,
butter,
But
which I'll get to here in a second. But all right, and so know your macros and micro numbers. Know where you want to be. Know if you want to lose weight, if you want to maintain, or if you want to gain weight. And I mean gain good weight, gain muscle weight. And again, all this is based on a 2,000 calorie diet. You need to know what your total daily energy expenditure is. Next thing we want to look at is the three horsemen of food apocalypse: sugar, sodium, and saturated fat. That's where your flavor comes from. Guess what's delicious? Sugar, sodium, and saturated fat.
It is.
And when you
I
see,
can attest.
and there's a sliding scale too. That's like a triangle. It's like the exposure triangle. If you know about photography, how if you change ISO, then the other two metrics are going to have variable change as well. So when you take away fat, food is not going to have any flavor. So guess what you have to do? Add salt and sugar. Or take away one of the other ones. This is sugar-free. Guess what? Well, it's probably going to have artificial sweetener in it, but they're going to add salt and add a galactic amount of salt. So look for those three things. Look for those three metrics on there. Added sugar. Natural sugar is okay, but you still need to watch out for it. It's still sugar.
Yeah.
But natural sources are better than refined sugars, and most of our natural sugars are going to come from whole foods that contain fiber that are going to regulate your blood sugar. And sodium. We got to watch out for sodium, high blood pressure issues, stroke, all that kind of stuff. And obviously saturated fat, heart disease, brain problems, all that kind of stuff. So watch the content of those and the percentage on those. You do not want a high percentage of the calories in this serving coming from one of those things.
Well, and two, you said saturated fat, but then isn't there also like monounhydrated monoxide 4,000?
Your two healthy fats are mono and polyunsaturated fats. So you're going to see unsaturated fats. Some labels will break them down into those two, but typically you'll see total fat, saturated fat, and trans fat. And there's this one. This jar of peanut butter actually has poly and monounsaturated fats listed on there as well. Those are the two fats that you want to see. Saturated fat, it's not going to kill you as long as you don't guzzle it down in moderate, in excess. So, and it's trans fats that have been basically outlawed around the world. But a little thing I learned not too long ago about trans fats is the law actually lets there be a certain amount of trans fat in food, and you're still legally allowed to put 0 on there. So just watch out for that.
Same with calories.
All right, so watch out for that. Those the three things that make food delicious. Watch out for them in excess. The percentage. Watch for the percentage. The higher percentage of the total calories in the serving of that food that comes from fat, salt, and sugar, you need to be real careful of that. So the next thing I want you, because there's a lot of information on there, it talks about vitamins and minerals and your macros and cholesterol and sodium and all that kind of stuff, which I'll get back to here in a second. But I think that this is one of the most important things in the world right here, and it's the little letters down below that white nutrition panel, and that is your ingredient list. Now, that's maybe the second or third thing that I actually pay attention to in my order of priorities, because I'm going to look at, I know what my calories need to be, and I know I've been doing this long enough. I'm a nutrition coach. I know food. I know generally what the calorie content is going to be like. What I'm going to do is look at the macros, the added sugars, and then I'm going to skip down to the ingredients list. And what you need to know about the ingredients list is they are in order of content. So
how much is
whatever is the most
prolific
thing in that food is going to be listed first and in descending order of content. So if you see, like what we looked at the Fruit Loops the other day, what was ingredient 2? Sugar. Put it away. Get away from it.
Oh, but you know what's so sad? Got 90% of the food out there, second ingredient, sugar.
Yeah. Well, in this case, these are X bars, which is a processed food, but I keep these because I am a realist. I live in the real world. I cannot, like some friggin' trad influencer, some homesteader making content on the internet. I don't have the bandwidth to prepare whole homemade meals 7 times a day, blah, blah, blah. Almost all of my meals that I eat are whole foods, but I need to fill some gaps sometimes. When I have 6 clients back to back to back to back to back, however many backs that was, I need to fill the gaps. I need to get my nutrition in there. And if I can find a processed food that is going to give me a decent ingredient list and a decent...
And it's quick and...
Right.
yeah,
So here's the ingredient list for these
Absolutely.
RX bars, and I'm not being paid by this company. Ingredient 1, dates. Number 2, peanuts. Then on egg whites, chocolate, peanut flour, natural flavors, cocoa, sea salt. For a processed food, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's no
Yeah.
dyes in here. There's
I would
no
say there's nothing you can't pronounce.
industrial seed oils. Yeah, there's no weird. Most of this stuff is food. I think all of it's food.
I picked an easy one. Ingredients, raisins.
Raisins. The only thing that that bugs me about this is it says natural flavors, and that can mean anything.
Yeah.
But I might eat one of these every 2 or 3 days. So I'm not using that as a main food source. So know that ingredient list. Is there any actual food in that thing? The Fruit Loops bag that we looked at the other day, I'm not sure that there was any actual food in that ingredient list.
Yeah.
Look for hidden sugars. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Your hidden sugars in particular, because it's going to tell you added sugar, and they're up in the nutrition panel, and they're talking about either refined or natural added sugar. It's going to be refined sugar. But the hidden sugars are high fructose corn syrup, dextrose, and maltodextrin. If you see that in the ingredients list, that means you're being double or triple sugared. So know that. And then
The dreaded triple sugar.
the evil ones, the dyes. If you see food dyes, please put it away. I don't know why we still allow food dyes in this country. I have no idea. And of course, if you have any allergies or pre-existing health issues, look for your allergens. Obviously, if you have a peanut allergy, you're not going to eat what I just read to you. And then, so we break it down a little bit farther from that. I want to see what you have, but I want to make sure that I get this in there.
Yeah, no, I'm seeing if
so
there's anything worth talking about. Over
Who
here.
needs to know what about any of this stuff? Because you can't get 10 people in a room and have them agree on the color of the paint on the walls. So there's 8.5 billion people in the world, and they're all different physiologically. So for athletes, all right, what you need to look for on your food labels, you need to look for what are the sources of your macros, because this is important to you, because there's a lot of plant proteins that are being used now. And I'm not going to call plant proteins evil or bad, but I will call them suboptimal.
Right. It can't be your only source of protein.
In comparison to animal-based proteins. One of the reasons is that most of your plant proteins, whether it's pea or
Bean,
stuff like that, is going to have a lot of fiber, and it's going to inhibit muscle protein synthesis to a degree. And that leads me to this bioavailability of the macros. And that's just a fancy word for how much of this stuff is actually getting absorbed and utilized by your body. Not all foods are equal. And we're talking about macros here. Not all macros are equal when it comes to bioavailability. Absorption. So your high bioavailability proteins are going to be eggs, egg whites, chicken, beef, etc. Whey protein, milk. That kind of stuff. Your soy, I will call soy evil. Stay away from soy. It's trash protein. It's not worth your money. Stuff like pea protein, it's okay. If you are morally or medically a vegetarian or a vegan, I don't have any issues with that. You need protein though. So pea protein, tofu, that kind of stuff. Just know that you're making a trade.
Yeah.
And if you make the trade and you don't preach to us how we're doing it wrong, then we're all good.
And really, if you're going to live that lifestyle, good for you, why ever you're doing it. But you need to educate yourself as to how to not let it, I don't want to eat animals because I love animals. They have cute little faces. Fine. But you've also got to then take care of yourself too, to know what you're missing. I might have mentioned this before, but one of my best friends was a cross country runner in high school, and she went vegan. And she really
underweight.
She really had to work and educated herself then, because as an athlete, she was like, all right, I know I need nutrition as a as a teenage girl too, running cross country. And she did the damn thing. She educated herself and she was eating the right foods to fuel her body. So her passion for cross country would not suffer.
Yeah. People are looking for shortcuts and they're not there. So like I said about the actress you were talking about, if you're going to do a thing, do it right, and it's not for everybody, so don't go preaching out there to it. Just share information. That's what you can do. Instead of saying you're wrong, I'm right, this is how you do it, just share your information. People will be a lot more receptive to you. Another thing athletes you need to look for is cooked food versus raw food. This is a thing. Everybody wants to eat raw. Raw lends itself to less bioavailability of macros than cooked food, because cooked food is going to break down the cell walls, making it easier for those nutrients to pass through where they need to pass through. Raw food, hey man, if you want to eat like a caveman, that's great. I eat raw spinach every night.
I hate cooked spinach. I only eat it raw.
Cooked spinach is slimy and gross. And when you cook spinach, you'll cook 78 tons of spinach and you'll get a dish about the size of the palm of your hand. Yeah. But for me, it's just throw it in there and eat it and be done with it. But so watch out for that, athletes in particular. That's going to have a limiting factor on the absorption of your macros. So protein, animal over plant, in my opinion, unless you're morally or medically a vegan or vegetarian, then as you said, make sure that you do your research and you don't just cut your body in half for those reasons. Carbs, you got simple and refined. Those are your fast absorbing carbs. A lot of times they're from refined foods and added sugars and things like that. But something like rolled oats, particularly quick oats, which are really kind of extra rolled so they cook faster. That's going to, it has a high glycemic index and it's going to spike your blood sugar. Yeah. But it also has fiber. And if you eat fruit along with it, you're good to go. Yep. Okay. But if you want a pre-workout and you don't want some store-bought chemical pre-workout, eat oats. Make yourself some oatmeal with some fruit, have some honey with it. And that's a lot of good, simple carbohydrates. Your complex carbohydrates are stuff that takes longer to break down, slow absorbing. Those are really good for you. Those are your good long-term energy carbohydrates. And your fats, we talked about mono and polyunsaturated. Those are your healthy fats. Fats are hydrophobic, so they don't like water. So understand what your solubility is and your vitamin intake. As we said, A, D, E, and K, those vitamins are fat soluble. They need fat to absorb into your system. However, B and C and those B vitamins, that's your B complex that bodybuilders and weightlifters and athletes like to use. Those are water. They're hydrophiles. Water likes them. They're water soluble. So don't dehydrate yourself. Also, this is where I'm coming back to what you were talking about with your raisins. Understand the ratio of calories to macros per serving. Yep. So this is what you were talking about. For example, peanut butter is a horrible product for
protein
value of protein per calorie. So a gram of protein has 4 calories.
A gram of peanut butter has 4 calories. Oh, no, sorry. I thought nope, you're right.
A gram of protein has 4 calories. In this peanut butter, which is not, it says natural. By the way, they can put the word natural on there pretty much anytime. Real peanut butter has one ingredient, peanuts. Peanuts have oil. That oil separates. You got to stir it and mix it. People don't want to do that, so they add emulsifiers, and which keeps you from having to stir it, but they can still put the word natural on it. So this is hard, y'all. It's hard to know all this stuff. Hopefully I'm providing a little bit of information. I don't want you to obsess. I don't want you to obsess over anything. I hate that thing that we do now where he said, what's your latest obsession? Stop obsessing over shit. Educate yourself, know what you're doing, know what you're looking for, and make sure that you're taking care of yourself. But anyway, so the ratio in peanut butter is just, it's awful. There are 4 calories. Yeah, the glasses switch, and I do have contacts on too. There are 4 calories per gram of protein. There are 7 grams of protein in a serving of this peanut butter. There are 180 calories.
I say so.
per serving.
28 calories is from protein.
Correct. In 7, yes. So in a 32 gram serving, which is 2 tablespoons, okay? A 32 gram serving of this peanut butter is 180 calories. 28 of those calories are protein.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of it, almost all the rest of it is fat.
Yum, 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 yum.
If
yum,
you understand that, you can still eat peanut butter responsibly. But if you... I was like, don't drink and drive, right? Don't do drugs. This is
Eat peanut butter responsibly. Oh, God, Scott, we've got another hat. It's going on a T-shirt. It's going on a patch.
You heard it here first, folks. Eat your peanut butter responsibly. Don't eat peanut butter and try to put on a bikini. So that is a really tier 1 example of a really bad macro to calorie ratio
For protein specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it advertises itself as like a protein packed food, and it does have, a lot of protein in it compared to some of the stuff I've got over here. But
here's another example, and I don't even know why this is in my house.
Gimme.
I'll have to fuss at my wife about this. Parents in particular, or anybody who's trying to eat healthier, don't feed this to your kids. Yeah, it's oatmeal. They tell you made with whole grain oats, heart healthy oatmeal.
Well, I hope so if it's oatmeal.
Yeah, heart healthy oatmeal, and it has a asterisk or a cross or something, which I'm not even going to bother to read. But here's your heart healthy oatmeal, 160 calories per serving. That's 43 grams. That's a packet of this stuff. Of those 160 calories, there's 4 grams of protein. So somebody's going to look on the back of this and go, oh, there's protein in here. 4
Yay.
times 4 is 16. 16 of the 160 calories, 10%,
Is
right,
protein.
is protein. There are 12 grams of added sugar in that tiny little packet.
I'm going to say, yeah, for this one, it's not going to be the fat that's making it
Yeah.
up. It's going to be the sugars and carbs.
What's great is there's no cholesterol, there's almost no fat, and the sodium's not that bad. But this is if you feed, let's say you feed this to your kids with a glass of orange juice before they go to school, guess what's going to happen to them in about 2 hours? First of all, they're going to get off the bus and they're going to be a holy terror.
Yeah.
They're going to
all
be the Tasmanian
sugars,
devil. Yeah. And then about 2 hours later, they're going to crash and fall asleep.
Yeah.
Because you've just given them a whole buttload of sugar and almost no fiber, no protein, and no fat. So avoid this. Instead, cook your own oats. It takes 5 minutes and sweeten it with honey, fruit, that kind of thing.
I love raisins.
If you're
in
telling
mine,
me
personally.
I can't get my kids to eat that, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to have to play the long game and deal with your kids bitching at you. And if they don't want to eat it, they don't have to eat it. Because I guarantee you, just like a dog, you know what they say about when the dog won't eat? The dog's not going to starve himself to death. They're going to eat. Mm-hmm. They're just being picky about their food.
That's why Rye keeps breaking into the cat food areas because
Yeah,
she thinks she's starving while she's
I'm
on her
not calling
diet.
your kids dogs. Don't everybody get all upset and start grabbing your pearls.
It's the only
But
example
it's the same thing. You're going to have to play the long game, and you're going to have to be the heavy sometimes, okay? The reason we have a lot of obese kids right now is, and I'm going to tell you, this is in my family too. My little brother, who will turn 40 this year, has been overweight to obese his entire life. And I remember when he was a kid, he was a picky eater. And my stepmother, to keep the peace, that boy must have eaten peanut butter and jelly for dinner while the rest of us were eating a good balanced meal.
Yeah.
Maybe 6 nights a week.
Yeah.
You're going to have to play the heavy and play the long game. And guess what? He's diabetic. He's got all the obesity diseases. He has to wear a CPAP at night because he has sleep apnea. Well, how's that? How about that? Would you rather have your kids hate you for a few minutes?
Which they won't even remember when they grow up, maybe.
And have a long and healthy life? Let me get off that tangent. That's a whole other thing. Let me wrap this. So we had poor ratio sources of food. Let me give you some really, really good ratio sources of food. Tuna. tuna. In one 4-ounce serving of tuna, you have 149 calories and 32 grams of protein. So that's 108, 64 and 60, 128. 128 of those calories. Did I do that math right? I don't want to sound like an
64
idiot.
times 2, yeah.
128 of your 149 calories is protein.
Yeah.
That is the ratio that you're looking for if you're in training or if you're looking to boost your protein intake. And it comes with all sorts of other health benefits. Tuna, dark fish does as well. It does have, so you got to be careful. Fish has some fat. There's some
The
mercury
oils
issues,
and,
things like that. So
too much.
again, know your food. If you can't eat that or you don't like fish, fine. I hope you can eat fish once or twice a week, but if not, fine. We can supplement for that to a certain extent. Another example, 4 ounces of ground chicken. Now, let me stop there for a second because I don't want you, particularly with ground beef, I want you to look for the fat to meat ratio in your ground beef. So the most common is 85-15.
Yep.
85%
there's
meat,
80,
15% fat. It's cut with fat, so it has some flavor. Now, when I cook ground beef, I buy the leanest ground beef or the leanest ground chicken I can find, and I can find ground chicken that's 95.5. I cook it, I drain it, and I drain it on paper towels, and I mash it down with paper towels until it's almost dry. I don't season it when I cook it. I'm not a chef. I don't care. I want the nutrients in me with as little fuss as possible, and I add salt and pepper and crushed red pepper. That's all I use for seasonings, and that's good enough for me.
And
I
that makes
don't
you
need
happy.
a culinary experience. The Food Network ruined the entire earth as far as what is a reasonable expectation of food preparation and meals.
Well, and I'm a little different, whereas I like a little seasoning. People always ask me, like, I don't really cook, but then when I do cook, I'm a fantastic cook. I get it. I get the chemistry behind it, whatever. And it's because I have experimented with flavors. I have this whole thing of spices, and I'll just get out and just kind of do this. And then once I find it, I'm like, great. I know which ones. Bing, bing, boom. And it
I'm
gives
not
it a
hating
little.
on
Yeah,
spices.
I'm gonna say, and it gives it a little
Spices
bit of.
a lot of spices have a lot of health benefits.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, spice your food however you
Yeah.
want. What I'm saying is I don't bother with it until a little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
And crushed red pepper
Well,
at
that's
the
what I'm
end.
saying. If that
But
works for you,
What
yeah.
I'm talking about more in particular is draining the fat.
Yeah, getting rid of it. Well, and two, like I love. Oh, I have to say, my favorite food is probably sloppy joes. And if you don't drain your meat after when you put the manwich in, you just got like this soupy, oily. It's no good. It's no good. Always drain your meat.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry.
That's what she said. And I'll give you one of these and one of these. Thank you very much. BalanceFIT Radio After Dark.
Cut me off.
All right. So anyway, 4 ounces of ground chicken, and this is taken from the USDA. So my chicken is actually going to have less calories, and it's actually going to have a higher ratio of protein to weight
Yeah.
because I drain it so much, which is a whole other conversation. But anyway, your basic 4 ounces of lean ground chicken is going to be about 130 calories. You're going to get about 22 grams of protein with that. So we're talking 88 grams of protein, or 88 of those 130 calories are protein. That's a good ratio. That's what you're looking for. Here's something else. Here's a processed food that is an excellent source of protein.
Yeah.
And has an elite ratio of calories to protein, whey protein. Now, I want to stop there. Whey protein isolate, not concentrate. I want you to make sure that you know the difference. Whey protein isolate is processed more to get the fat and carbohydrates out of it, so it's almost pure protein. Whey protein concentrate it's cheaper and it has a little more flavor. I don't care about that.
Yeah.
So anyway, the ratio here with whey protein isolate, in mine that I use in particular, the serving size is 36 grams. It has 120 calories and 25 grams of protein. So 100 of those 120 calories, pure protein and an excellent source of protein. And on and on and on. Egg whites. 4 egg whites is 100 calories, 20 grams of protein. That's 80 calories of the 100 calories is protein. You see where I'm going with this? This is what you need to be looking for. And then we circle back. All right, here's an example, even worse than the peanut butter. A product that I used to consume pretty frequently when I was in a previous job, and I could not. I had my lunch had to be in my pocket. I could when I caddied.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop. We were going all day.
Can't stop, won't stop,
And
Caddy.
actually, this wasn't bad for me because I burned this with no problem. But most people eat this stuff as a snack,
Yeah.
like sitting at their desk all day. I'm not hating on Cliff, but this is just an example of a bad calories to macro
Health-
ratio.
health,
So
yeah.
this Cliff Bar chocolate
Health
chip
bar.
is 260 calories. One bar, one serving, 260 calories. And you say to yourself, well, that doesn't sound like very much. 9 grams of protein. That means
yeah.
36 of those 260 calories are protein. The rest of it is not great.
Yeah.
A lot of sugar
Yeah.
and salt.
And you know what's funny? I don't even think they taste good. Sorry, Cliff. You're just not for me.
Yeah,
But
not for everybody.
They were never my cup of tea, and yeah. They
And
weren't
I
doing
want to
anything
wrap
for me.
up my part of this by saying, just kind of pointing out other foods that are marketed. Oh my God, the whole thing now. For a while there, everything was fat free, and then everything
Yeah.
was
Sugar free.
whatever it was, and then we went through the whole plant-based, and then vegan. I actually was in Target one day shopping I was in the women's cosmetics area because I needed to buy some. Oh yeah, I was buying her deodorant or something like that, and I happened to walk by the nail polish, and it said vegan nail polish, and I'm like, Jesus, what are we doing here? Anyway, so now the thing is they're going to slap the word protein on everything.
Yeah.
And there are no regulations on what the hell that means. It can be an incomplete protein, meaning it doesn't have all 9 essential amino acids, which is basically meaningless. You can't count unless you complement it with the missing amino acids. You can't even count it in your protein count. Although they're individual amino acids, the branched chain amino acids, they do certain things, but we're looking for whole foods and complete proteins here. So they slap the word protein on everything. Please do not buy the hype. Do not buy the marketing. Flip it over and look at this label. Plant-based proteins, not the best. Fake meats, like what was that? What was the thing?
Impossible?
The Impossible Burger. No, stay away from it. There's a reason it doesn't exist anymore. Things like breakfast cereals and dairy alternatives that are labeled as like soy, dairy
God.
alternatives like
No,
soy
this-
or almond milk. Everybody loves almond milk. You know what almond milk is? Like 98% water with some sugar and emulsifiers.
Coffee creamer makes me so sad. It's so delicious, guys, but you don't even have to put that in the fridge. Like it is all soybean oil. Like try to find an alternative dairy based if you can. Coffee
true.
creamer if you have to have coffee or creamer in your coffee. Otherwise, do what I did and spend a little more money on a really quality coffee and learn how to drink it black.
Yeah.
I put some cinnamon in my grounds and brew it with cinnamon through. So just a little bit more quality coffee and learn how to drink it black.
I drink coffee black. My wife has artificial non-dairy creamer in the house, and I don't fuss at her very much because she uses about a teaspoon of it a day.
Oh, it makes me happy.
So
but it's
some
just,
people
God,
are
it's
like
awful.
going
Yeah.
that left and
Yeah,
right
it's
on that
so-
stuff.
It's so
and just
gross.
like anything else in the world, stuff that's bad for you, it's not going to kill you if you use it very, very sparingly. So if you can't tolerate dairy and you need a non-dairy alternative, you're fine. Just be aware.
Yeah, shouldn't be half your cup.
Yeah. And dairy alternatives, suboptimal protein sources, and that's it. That's what I wanted to bring to the table about nutrition labels, the nutrition panel, reading a food label, and hopefully I've brought a little bit of something of help and information to the table with you for that. So we're going to move on. We're going along here.
I'm gonna say, do we want to jump? Do we want to wrap it?
Let's do one question because I want to keep the Q&A thing going.
Yep.
But before we do that, real quick, before we continue, if your current training plan is basically random workouts and good intentions, the balanceFIT Blueprint might help. It's a 3-session virtual coaching program where we build a clear, personalized training program for you. BalanceFitSC.com. All right, let's get back to it.
Great.
So we had some good questions, but since we're running along here, we're gonna want to let y'all get to it. We're gonna go to the second question, and I'm gonna ask you the question this time. Protein intake has been a big topic for a couple of years now. How much protein do I actually need?
It depends. Just as we talked about, it's going to depend on your, what your goals are and what you're training for, or if you're not training and whatnot. But I want to say for me right now, and kind of maintenance and getting back on my feet, I want to say I'm somewhere around like 65 to 80 is what I should be targeting right now. Does that sound right?
65 to grams.
Grams of protein. Yep.
You're no.
No?
Did you say 65 to 80
grams? Right. Is it 90? See,
you're probably about something like 60-ish kilograms.
Sure. I weigh 100. I weigh 148 pounds. I'll tell you.
That's on the low end, but I'll accept that. 60 to 80. Yeah. Okay. I'll accept that for you as a woman, your size, your activity level. Yes. Okay. I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Please continue.
But I know that because we've talked about it. And so I don't know how I would calculate it other than, you need to know your body weight and your activity level, your goals, and on all of that. Goals, gains, all those types of things, in order to, because it's a good thing, but you can overdo it.
You very definitely can overdo it. Now, daily protein standards depend on your age, weight, and activity level. And this is where we talked about macros and your macro split. If you don't know what a macro split is, that is your ratio based on 100% of your calories, your ratio of protein, carbohydrates, and fats that you need. And this ratio will determine everything about your body composition. So with protein, the recommended standard by the government and health organizations is generally between 0.8 and 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day. So if you're old like me and you don't do the metric system, you need to divide your weight by 2.2.
You need to ask your phone to convert it for you.
Yeah. So divide your weight by 2.2 and then multiply that. That'll give you your weight in kilograms, and then multiply that by your protein goal. So 0.8 is the low maintenance bottom of the threshold amount of protein you want to consume. 1.6 grams it's hard to eat that much protein.
It is
a lot of times, unless you're a mountain lion. But that's about the standard.
Or a cougar.
So depending on
that's my dad joke.
Depending on your total daily caloric intake, your workout situation, your health situation, your body composition, and all that, protein should make up somewhere between 10 and 35% of your total daily calories. 10% is super low. If you are sedentary, or if you are recovering from injury, or if you can't work out, or you're immobile, or if you have a pre-existing medical condition, there are certain things that would make 10% okay. But for most people, and I'm going to let me give you a model of a human. Somebody who works 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. I know that's an old school thing, but just to make it easy. You work 9 to 5 at a desk Monday through Friday. You work out moderately 3 to 4 times a week, and maybe on the weekends you'll go play in the lake or go for a hike or something like that. You should probably be about 30% of your total daily calories should be from protein. If you're more active than that, you need to bump that up to 35%. So the scale of your macros is going to be for an athlete or a very active person, you need to be somewhere like 35% protein, 45% carbohydrates, and 20% fats. And the reason we want that particular ratio is that you need the protein to repair and build and to regulate your system. You don't need to over-index on protein.
Yeah.
Unused protein will eventually turn
into
itself
fat.
into, it will go into your fat cells as stored energy. the hierarchy is it will go to repair and build. Then it will be stored in your muscles and liver. And then if it's unused, it will eventually turn itself into fat. And that's the same thing with carbohydrates too, unused. So the ratio, the 35, 45, 20 for very active people, you need those carbohydrates. The whole thing about cutting carbohydrates, it's just as bad as the food pyramid, where we had all of your carbohydrates down here
bottom,
and a teeny tiny little bit of protein. You need carbohydrates that's your main source of energy. As I said, for particularly active people, that's your main source of energy. You don't want to get into burning fat because that's a lower burning threshold. So you need that energy. And fats, athletes and active people need a lower portion of body fat or of fat, food fat intake in your calories because you're not going to burn it. You're burning high energy stuff. You're burning your carbohydrates. So you don't want that storage just sitting there doing no reason. Once again, you do need fat. Being down to 4% body fat is not healthy.
And I say all of these, like
particularly for women.
Searching for the devil last week. There is no devil. It's not like, oh, fat's bad, carbs are bad, protein's bad. Like they all have a certain job, and it's all work together for what you're trying to do and how you need to fuel your body to feel good and show up for people and have your brain be clear, and have your vitamins be absorbed and all of that good stuff.
Yep.
So
let me flip that to finish this up to somebody who's not so active, because we're talking to everybody here. You need to adjust these macros because, once again, you don't need to over-index on protein. If you're 160 pounds and you're not going to use 140 grams of protein, or 160 grams of protein or 180 grams of protein, you're not doing yourself any favor. And aside from it being stored as excess adipose tissue, it's bad for your kidneys. Your kidneys are going to have to work overdrive to get rid of the nitrogen and all the things that it has to filter out. So over-indexing on protein is not helpful. But you also need to so you need to be more like maybe 25% calories from protein, and you need to drop your carbohydrates to about 35% because you're not doing high energy burns. You are burning fat. Your body burns fat by existing. That's your low threshold energy burn. So your fat intake, believe it or not, I know this sounds weird.
It sounds so backwards.
But your fat macros need to be a little bit higher than in comparison to your carbohydrates, because you're at a lower intensity level going to burn more fat and not going to burn carbohydrates almost at all. So I know this was about protein and not about macros in general, but just like I said, the exposure triangle with photography, they all work together.
Yep.
You can't.
You got to have all of them in some, but you got to find the
can't
combo.
Increase one without affecting the other two. So I hope that answered the question. And let me ask you this. In the cool down section, what was your favorite activity as a kid?
Well, this is easy. So, well, Scott, before I got my first horse, actually I grew up, in the sticks in Indiana, and I had some friends that had ponies, had backyard ponies. And those were my best friends. And oh my God, I can still tell you, my friend Jenny had a pony named Thunder, and he was old kid's pony.
You have to have a pony named Thunder, right?
And he was so good. You could run up behind him and cowboy on the button, jump on him, and you could ride him in a halter around, and we would just go tearing around. And then my friend Annie had a pony named, she had Thunder first, and then she gave her to Jenny. So, and then my friend Jessie had a pony named Shasta, little gray pony in their backyard. And so Shasta, oh my gosh, we'd ride double, and we're talking, I'm like 7 or 8. So 2 little girls, on a pony that's, 4 foot off the ground. And the cackling and the laughing and the falling off and rolling around. And we were aimless back there besides go fast. It was fun. So we'd chase the birds around, and then whoever's sitting in the back, kind of like on a motorcycle. And we obviously did this without helmets and in shorts and whatnot, but just in a big grass field, somebody would roll off the side and whatnot.
Freedom.
Love it. Oh gosh.
Freedom as a kid. If you are
good times.
tragic tragic thing is if you are under 40, you have no idea what that freedom as a child was like.
Yeah.
Helicopter parents, snowplow parents. I'm an only child. Well, I was an only child for 13 years. So, and this will, we know I'm weird, right? My dad owned a golf and tennis shop for a good long while. So we had a lot of inventory around the house. And one of those things that we had a lot of was tennis balls. My favorite activity as an only child was I grew up in Marietta, Georgia, and we lived in the hills, and then my driveway was almost straight down. So our house was down in a depression and then went down even more up here. And so we had a big stone retaining wall because the neighbors were way up there, holding back the landslide. And we had stepped railroad tie wall built up from that. Well, that was my outfield wall. And I pitched the baseball because I had a perfect strike zone against those railroad ties. But my favorite thing was, and this drove my mother insane, God bless her heart, our roof pitch. I'm not an architect, but I don't think it was 12-1, but it was close. It was really steep. Mm-hmm. And it was a perfect outfield pitch back for me. I would throw that tennis ball as high as I could, and I got surgical with what angle I could hit it on the roof to make it bounce out higher or flatter. And I would practice jumping over that wall, get my glove, making that Willie Mays catch, jumping over that wall. And I would do that for hours, bouncing the tennis ball off the roof to myself.
I would say also like hitting a tennis ball with a racket against your garage door until your dad
said,
stop making that racket.
The other thing we had was one of the big giant trees in our backyard had some kind of vine that from an old dead, whatever the weed, kudzu or poison ivy that was growing up that thing. And it was about like 1.5 inches in diameter. And my friends and I spent hours and hours and hundreds of hours swinging on that vine. Playing Tarzan around the back of the house until it broke with me on it one day and sent me tumbling down the hill and over the little cliff into my neighbor's backyard. And with that...
Nope.
Uh-oh.
Next question. There's a second question.
I know. You want to save that? All right.
I've got to do it.
She wants to answer. What is a thing that you did or loved most of your life that you don't do or care about anymore?
So, I thought about this as like in a childhood thing. So, obviously didn't get the internet. I had some friends that got AOL. I was about 10 or 11. My best friend, Sarah, we were in the 5th grade. Her brother was 2 years older, total computer nerd, and dude works for NASA now. But one of the first things that we obsessed over and thought was so fun was talking to strangers online. And I absolutely hate it now. But turns out Sarah and I were the first trolls, and we didn't even know it.
So you're to blame.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this. People would just chat you up. Obviously, we were young girls, and the good thing To Catch a Predator wasn't then invented yet because, oh my God, everybody, all these creepy older people would try to talk to us. And so what Sarah and I did, and we're talking 10, 11, we went, and I think our friend Jenny had the album because she had like 5 older brothers. We got out a 1993 Adam Sandler album. There's a song called At a Medium Pace. It is so dirty. I'm not even going to read the lyrics, so not safe for work if you want to read it or listen to it. And we used to use those lyrics and convert it to all the people that wanted to like sex talk with, 10, 11-year-old girls at the time. And we cackled and thought it was so, and people would, you now see people get trolled on, the guys getting trolled on dating apps now. Sarah and I in 5th grade originated it by typing in Adam Sandler lyrics to all these people that wanted to talk to us. And now I can't imagine talking to, and, going into college, use AIM and all of that, chat with your friends like that. And I guess we text now, but I don't even do that very well or too often.
Glad you pulled us out of that trough. I thought we were about to turn into an Epstein episode for a while there.
No. But it's like, I do not want to talk to random strangers on the internet anymore.
The thing that I loved most of my life that I don't care about anymore makes me, unlike yours, this makes me really sad.
I think
that
know
I
what it
don't
is.
care about it anymore, but I can't really make myself care very much about it anymore. I'm from Atlanta. I grew up in Marietta, Georgia. I was born in 1969. I was born into the Atlanta Braves and the Atlanta Falcons. This is a long story. It's a funny story that I won't get into, but I was born into a Georgia Bulldogs family, but became an Auburn Tiger when I was 11 years old. Everybody you can just calm down out there if you're SEC football fans. But there was not a time in my life as a child or a young adult or an adult in my 30s and 40s that I would not go out of my way to watch or listen to one of my teams.
Your teams, yep.
Lived and died. When Meredith and I first got married in 1999, May 16th, 1999, we didn't have phones and cell phones and fancy streaming devices. You listened to the radio when you weren't watching TV. And I would go to bed at night if the Braves were playing on the West Coast and they wouldn't start. First pitch wouldn't be till like 10:05 or something like that. And I worked in the golf business, so I had to be up at 4:30 in the morning. I wasn't staying up watching that game. I had a little portable radio that I would put under my pillow because we didn't have like earbuds or anything in there either. Just so it wouldn't bother her, and I would put it on the lowest volume I could hear it and put it under my pillow, under my ear, and listen to the Braves game as I fell asleep. Most of my fondest memories as a child and a young adult, and even an older adult, come from sports. When I took our daughter to her first college football games and other things, and she's a horse chick too. She's an equestrian, and I got to take her to the SEC Equestrian Championships in Blythewood, South Carolina. I've found lately, and this has happened in the last 2 years, I don't care anymore. I don't go out of my way to watch the games. And I still love my teams. I still want them to do well. Yeah. But I don't watch it anymore. I don't care. Yeah. It's gotten, I believe the reason, and this is another one of those things, nothing is to blame here, people. Everything is to blame. Just like we talked about with food, the same thing has happened with sports. It's just been an unfolding series of events that have led us to this point. It's not about NIL. It's not about the transfer portal. It's not about free agency or contracts or anything like that. It's everything that's ever happened, leading me to the point now where the entire soul, the entire human element, everything that I loved about sports is basically gone.
Yeah. But we said the cool down, we're not going to bring it down. So what I want us to focus on here is that there exists a universe where over 30 years ago, 2 10-year-old girls were actually trolling creepy old guys with Adam Sandler lyrics. And getting to believe Sloppy Joe, Sloppy Joe, and getting them to believe they were actually talking to somebody that wanted to talk to them, and that what we were saying was serious. So you know what? I would give 10-year-old me a high five for that. Yep. Now knowing what I know.
If you're a youngin' right now growing up in the world, go to a football game.
Yep.
All right. Thank you for spending time with us today on balanceFIT Radio. We got a lot of stuff packed in there. I didn't think we were going to go that long. If this conversation resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need it or might enjoy it or both. Please do the likes and the comments and the shares. That helps greatly. And let me leave you with this thought. If we could give every individual the right amount of nourishment and exercise, not too little and not too much, we would have found the safest way to health. And that is from Hippocrates, thousands of years ago. Until we meet again, be capable and resolute and move through life with a sense of purpose, trained to be the right kind of dangerous. And remember, your life, your potential. Peace out, homies.
Always train your meat.
We'll see y'all next time. While Gigglebox over there takes us to the house. Hey, that was fun.
Oh, my God. And, you know, for me, a lot of people would think that was planned. Nope. It just came out of my mouth.
That's what she said.
Yep.